Hey guys, it's February 1st, which means that January is over and it's time for my January wrap-up. I read 11 books in January, which is a lot for me because I really didn't think that I would get to read 11 books. I set a goal for myself to read 9 books. I think I picked out 9 books that I wanted to read in January, and I read most of those books and then a couple of extra ones that weren't on the list. So I'm just going to tell you which books I read in January and my brief thoughts about them. And if you would like to see a full review of any of these books, just let me know, and I will try to make that video. The first book that I read this year was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. It was a really good book to start the year off with. I really enjoyed it. It's a contemporary YA romance book that's also about like family issues and family drama and things like that. I actually really like this book. I like the 2 main characters. I cannot remember the main character's name right now. But I liked both of the main characters. I liked their relationship. I thought that it was really nice that you actually get to see their relationship. A few books end once the couple gets together, and this one didn't. The people, they got together, and I wish I could remember their names because that would make this so much easier. But you actually get to see their relationship grow and how they kind of grow as a couple and also grow as people because of it. And I really liked the side characters, the main characters' 2 best friends. I really thought that their storylines were interesting, and the way that they interact with her and things like that were interestingly done. The next book that I read was another contemporary YA book. It's The Beginning of Everything by Robin Snyder, and I really liked this one too. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. There were a couple of things that I didn't like. I think mainly the ending kind of just threw me off. But overall, I did in fact like the ending. If you read the book, then you know what I'm talking about. But I really liked the book. It's about this boy named Ezra who gets into a car accident, and he pretty much I think he's a tennis player. His tennis playing days are over, and he's very angry and bitter about that, and he kind of was like the most popular guy in school, and how he has to kind of adjust to not necessarily losing that status, but not being the same person that he used to be, and also coming to the realization that the way that people treated him before the accident isn't how they're going to treat him now, and he kind of has to see his relationships for what they really are. But anyway, I really liked the book. I thought it was really good. I really liked Ezra as a character, and the new friends that he made and everything, they were really interesting too. And so yes, I would definitely recommend it if you like YA contemporary books. The next book that I read was Dead to You by Lisa McMann. I like Lisa McMann's Wake Trilogy. I really liked it, so I was really excited about reading this book, and I like this book too. It's very suspenseful. You don't really know what's going to happen, even though you think you might know what's going to happen. And the ending the ending kind of like messed with me, because when I got to the ending, I just kind of like stared at the book for a while. But yeah, because the ending is might be kind of annoying to some people because of the way that it ends. But I really liked it. It was a really short, quick, suspenseful read. It's about a boy who has kind of had a really hard life. He's about to be 17 years old or something like that. He's like 16 or 17 years old, and he's been homeless. The woman that raised him was not very kind to him, and she always had boyfriends that like beat him up and stuff like that. And he finds a picture of this kid that looks a lot like him on a missing child website, and he's reunited with his family, and it's kind of about him having to kind of like figure out how he fits in with them now, because they've been missing him for like the past like 10 years, and he doesn't remember them. He doesn't have any memory of being with them. He was about 7 when he got abducted. And so the story is about him and his family and them like trying to like figure out where he fits, and he has a younger brother and a younger sister, and getting to know them again and everything. And I actually did like the book. I don't think I will read it again, but I did like it. And it did make me feel really emotional, and I wanted to know what happened next. I really did. The only thing I didn't care for in the book was kind of the romance. I just didn't really care for it in the story. I was more focused on him and his family. I didn't really like the distraction of his next door neighbor, the girl that he really likes. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that one. So the next book that I'm going to talk about is a book that I read when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I remember really liking it, and then I was able to pick up a copy of it used, and it's The Ugly Princess and the Wise Fool. I don't remember the author's name. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But I really liked it. It's a really short, middle grade type of story about a princess who was born very ugly, and they expected her to be beautiful and to put her two older sisters to shame and make them turn into like evil sisters. She's born ugly, and but she's a really, really great person, and she's really, really smart, and she's really, really kind. But in her kingdom, beauty is really, really valued highly. And she meets the court jester is actually a very, very smart guy who's kind of hiding his intelligence because the king has outlawed wisdom and wise men in general, and he really, really wants to be a wise man, so he's hoping that if he can like sneak his way into like the king's graces, he can like good graces. Did I say that right? I don't know. But he's trying to like see if he can like convince the king that wisdom is a good. You know, it's just the way that some people that are smart make other people feel bad for maybe not being as smart as they are. And he wants to say that it's just those people that are not good, not necessarily intelligence in general. I really, really liked the book. And it's a really, really cute, quick story, and I was happy that I was able to revisit it. The next book that I read is 10 by Gretchen McNeil. I think that's the author's name. It's a YA retelling of When There Were None, which is by Agatha Christie. And I really, really liked the book And Then There Were None, and I saw the movie, and I liked the movie, and so I picked this book up because I was interested in it. And I liked it. It was a good mystery book. It was. There were a lot of things about the book that kind of got on my nerves, mostly about like characters and stuff like that. And normally if I don't like a character, I won't necessarily be like, this was a bad book, because I'm not going to like everyone. I'm not going to like every character. But I liked the story. It was really suspenseful. I did not know who the killer was. I did not guess who the killer was. And then after I finished the book, I was like, you know, Becky, you really, really should have guessed who the killer was. It was kind of obvious. But yeah, I think I was just trying to like figure out who it would be, and I did not guess that person at all. But it was a really, really good book, and I liked it. If you like suspense books, you might like this one. There was a little bit, like I said, again, I'm going to say like too much focus maybe on like the romance part of it. That was kind of annoying to me, because I just wanted to know who was killing people and get back to the murders, and not necessarily does he like me, does he not like me, blah, 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 blah. But it was fine. It was bearable, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it maybe like 3.5 out of 5 stars or something like that, but on Goodreads it's like 4 stars. I think I just like upgraded it because normally I round up on Goodreads. The next book that I read was Just One Day by Gail Forman, and I really, really liked it. I even did a book review of it on the channel, so if you'd like to watch it, I'll leave a link down below. And I really liked it, like I said already. I really enjoyed Just One Day, and I read If I Stay by the same author, and I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. But this one I really, really liked, and I think maybe because my expectations were kind of low, because I didn't really connect very well with If I Stay. I keep wanting to say Where She Went. But If I Stay, so yeah, but I really, really liked this book a lot. I related really well to the main character, and I talk a little bit more about that in my review, so I'm not going to go into that. But it's a really good book. It's about a girl who's traveling abroad, and she meets this, I forgot where he's from actually. I forgot where he's from. But she meets this guy while she's on a trip with her best friend after she's graduated from high school, and she spends one really, really great day in Paris with him, and she pretty much falls in love with him. And then when she wakes up in the morning, he's gone, and she's very, very sad, and she has to go home and then spend the rest, like the next year of her life, kind of trying to figure out what exactly happened between them, and also the ways that it's opened up her eyes to certain things that she didn't really think about before. I'm not going to say that it necessarily changed her, but I definitely think that the change was already happening, and it was like a catalyst for that. But it was really, really interesting. I really liked the book, and I would definitely recommend it, especially for someone that likes contemporary books. The next 2 books that I read are books 2 and 3 in the Edgewood Trilogy. These are books by Karen McQuestion, and they're self-published books, and I got it on my Kindle because I bought a Kindle this month. It was really exciting. I really like it. A Kindle Paperwhite, and yeah, it's really, really good. I like reading on it. But anyway, I got these 2 books because I won her first book in a Goodreads giveaway, and I enjoyed it. I had to get the door, so I got interrupted. But basically, the books. Sorry, my computer screen went out. Basically, the books are about these kids who live in this small town. I think it's in Ohio or something like that. And every 16 years, a couple of teenagers get these powers or abilities, superpowers, whatever. And there's this group called the Associates who want to like use the kids for their own evil world domination scheme. And this smaller group, I forgot what their name is actually, but this smaller group that's like trying to fight against them, and they want to use the kids to fight against the associates and, you know, keep the world a happy, peaceful place. Not that the world is all that peaceful, but anyway. And so the book is basically about this one particular boy who gets these powers, and he's very, very strong, and they don't really know why he has so many superpowers and why he's like the strongest one. But he's like really, really valuable, and the books are basically about him and the other kids that have these superpowers, and he becomes friends with them and stuff like that. And them trying to, you know, work together and figure it out. I really did like the books. I like that kind of science fiction-y superhero stuff type books. They weren't like perfect books, but I did really, really enjoy them, and it was a really great way to spend 2 days just in that world reading about these characters. And I also really liked the last book. I liked the way that the books came together in the end. The next book that I read was a book that was on my Nook for a while. It was Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. Of Poseidon? Yes, Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. And I really liked it. I like mermaid books. It was a really, really quick, fun read. It wasn't like amazing or earth-shattering or anything like that, but I really did enjoy it. There were certain things that I didn't like about it. Reyna's relationship with Toraf, that's like a mermaid girl in the story, and Toraf, if you've read the books, you know what I'm talking about. I thought it was really creepy and weird. Just because basically it's that her brother's best friend got them married behind her back, and she does not want to get married at all, and he knows that. And it's just very, very like creepy, some of the stuff that he would like say to her. And you're supposed to like, eventually at one point in the book, you're supposed to just kind of accept that that's because he loves her, and secretly she's in love with him. But I do think it's really, really creepy. But I read the book, and I did think it was a fun book, so I would recommend it. This would be like mermaid stuff. If you don't like mermaid stuff, maybe you won't like this book, but I really like mermaid stuff. The next book that I read was Once Upon a Marigold, and I don't remember, Jean Ferris, that's it. I borrowed this book from my aunt because it's actually my book. I read it and then I lent it to her years and years ago, and she never read it, and it's been on her bookshelf for a while, and I was visiting her, and I saw the book on her shelf, and I said, I'd like to reread this, so I took it, and I reread it, and I liked it. There's actually a sequel that I might pick up and read now. Maybe not anytime soon, but I am interested in what happens afterwards. The last book that I read was The Impossible Knife of Memory by Laurie Halse Anderson, and I really, really liked it. In case you don't know what the book is about, a lot of people have been reading it or talking about it, but it's basically about a girl whose father has PTSD, and he's a single parent, and she's being raised by him, and mostly she's taking care of him. And they've been on the road for a while because he's a trucker, and then he decides that he should go back to his hometown so that she can have some stability in her life. And they do that, but it doesn't really go well because he still isn't really necessarily take his medication. He isn't going to therapy or anything like that. So a lot of the times his mental state is very, very bad, and she worries a lot about him. And she also kind of has, like, she also fears other people constantly sees people as like threats. But it was a really, really good book. I really liked it. I like Anderson's other books. I like Speak and Twisted and Winter Girls a lot. I think Twisted is probably my favorite. If you like her other books, you will like it. If you don't like her other books, you may not like this book. Those are the 11 books that I read this month. I already did a TBR for February, in case you want to know what I'm planning on reading in February, but I've kind of changed my mind from that list. Yeah, it's a mess. But, yeah, I just didn't, I guess I was in one mood towards the end of January when I was, like, making my TBR list, and then in a completely different mood this morning when I woke up, and I was like, I don't want to read most of those. So, yeah, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to stick to it as closely as I can, and if another book, if I get interested in another book, then I'll just pick that one up, too. I'm really, really relaxed. It's a TBR-ish, not a TBR list. Anyway, I would like to know what you read in January, if you've read any of the books that I'm talking about, and what you thought of them. So I will see you guys in my next video, and have a great weekend. Bye!